Hi math students! This is the introduction video for our lesson on equivalent fractions. To start off our conversation about what are equivalent fractions, I have these three pictures here of pizza. We have the fraction 1/2, the fraction 2/4, and the fraction 4/8. The question I want you to take a moment to think about is, what do these three pictures above have in common? Pause the video if you need to think about that question. Well, when I look at the pictures and focus specifically on how much pizza there is, when we look at 1/2 of a pizza and 2/4 of a pizza and 4/8 of a pizza, that amount of pizza is cut differently, but it represents the same amount of pizza. If I were to eat this one big slice of pizza, and you were to eat these 4 slices of pizza, we are eating the same amount of pizza. What do the pictures above have in common? They all represent the same amount. This is the theme of today's lesson. We call fractions like these equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions are two fractions that might look different. So for example, when I look at the numbers 1/2, 2/4, 4/8, those are different numbers. Those are definitely different fractions. But when we look at the pictures, we see they represent the same amount. And if you think about your own life, if you had this picture here, if you had this much pizza at home, I bet you would not say, there is 4/8 of the pizza left. You would probably say there's half of pizza left, because 4/8 and 1/2 are the same amount. The theme of this lesson is equivalent fractions, and the focus for a lot of our lesson is going to be on how you can find equivalent fractions. This is going to be one of the important ideas in this lesson. You can find equivalent fractions by multiplying or dividing. And the way you find equivalent fractions is by multiplying or dividing both the numerator, that's the top number, and the denominator, that's the bottom number, by the same number. And I have this example below to help explain what I mean by that. Go ahead, pause the video, and I want you to write fractions for these two pictures. So tell me, what fraction does this picture represent, and what fraction does this picture represent? Write down those two fractions and then come back to the video to see how you did. So for this first picture, there is a total of 3 parts, and 2 of those parts are colored in. So this is the fraction 2/3. And then for that other picture, there's a total of 6 parts, and 4 of those are colored in. So that's the fraction 4/6. This is what we did in yesterday's lesson. Today's lesson is all about looking at those two pictures and noticing that green part, it's the same amount, just like the pizza. If we focus on this part that's colored in here and this part that's colored in here, that part that's colored in is the same amount. That means these two fractions are equivalent. They're equal. The way we can show that with math is using multiplication or division. It has to be by the same number. So notice 2 and 4, 3 and 6. I'm noticing that I could multiply both of those numbers by 2 and get this fraction. This is one way you can make equivalent fractions, by multiplying both the numerator and the denominator by the same number. If we wanted to go the other direction, so if I wanted to start with 4/6, you could also use division. I notice I can divide both those numbers by 2, and if I do that, I get the fraction 2/3. A lot of today's lesson is going to be us practicing using multiplication and division to help make different equivalent fractions. And we might use some of these pictures like these to help us understand and confirm that these two fractions are equivalent. You are ready for today's lesson. Thanks so much for watching, and have a good rest of your day.